I heard from other people besides myself, and they told me the whole plan of what is coming and what is to become in the future. Trump, just like when George W. Bush Sr. and then Jr. before they had the thought of the New World Order, and but when Trump comes in, he wants to play the whole part of being the leader of the world. He wants to get together with Putin, take over and take over all the small countries and make them suffer, make them want what we can give them, and make them beg for what we need. And if they do what we say, we'll give them what they want. And if it doesn't happen, then we'll take away what they need and we'll make them suffer. So then they give them their allegiance for us to Russia and America, which being the two biggest bullies, besides the third bully being China.
Yeah.
And so when China comes into play, we'll try to take over China. And when it comes to that, then China will fall into us, and then we got the triangle. And so when it comes to that, we have the whole world. And where Trump and Putin, Putin wants Trump to be president, and he was rooting for it. And they were already talking discussion on that. And they have a plan. And the plan is that they want to take over the world, and they want Trump to be the leader. So he's like something similar to the Antichrist, but I don't believe that. But I think he's just like he wants to be the leader of the world, take over the world, and take over everything else.
So this new world order thing just might be around the corner, you think?
I think it is, yeah.
And it's funny because everyone's like, oh, Obama's gonna bring about the end of America and that and this and that.
And like he said, he goes, I want to make America great again. He's thinking about the New World Order back in the 50s and the 40s before John F. Kennedy found out about this new society, which was like the Skull and Bones, which is part of that. And he said, we shouldn't have no sanction of a society, a secret society, taking over the world and taking over the proposition of this country because we are, everybody has rights, everybody has civil rights. And when he was thinking, people were thinking it was the KKK, but really he was talking beyond that. People just didn't take it in that sort of situation because they didn't know. And when it came to, they assassinated him, they killed him because they knew about what their plan.
They're afraid he was probably going to spill all the beans.
Exactly.
So it's take him out.
They took him out, and they took his brother out too for the same reason because he knew as well. And in this book that's written is called The New World Order, and it's an amazing book. It has in detail. And this book was written in 1987 or 88.
I actually think I have that book. I have not read it though, but
there's
I had
a
a friend who
gave
that book to me. I'm pretty sure I have that.
It covers a lot of great ground. It's not a religious book, but it's a book about just telling the facts of what is soon to come. And people are seeing it, and people are like wondering what is our world coming to? What is our country coming to? Because
we're very blind to all this.
Exactly.
We're not.
A lot of people are blind to this. Yeah, they don't want to see it, or they don't know what's happening. Like I was saying before, FEMA has all these coffins that are really 16 or 8 feet wide by 16 feet or 6 feet long that have made for people that are dead people, and they're stacked in some place in Georgia. And like we were talking about, you saying, I remember reading about that too, about that the tablets.
The stone tablets over in Georgia.
Yeah, and that tells the same thing too. And what do people do? They don't pay attention to it. They don't know about it. If they knew about it, then they would understand. And
they might be addressing it and questioning all this more, but they're not. So
exactly, and that's what's really crazy about this world. People think about their life and they're living in their happy little bubble, and they don't, 9-to-5 job, paying their bills and all that and everything.
And they watch the news.
Yeah, they watch the news, the false media, which tells them the false truth. Which they think that they're telling the truth, but really they're not. They're only being giving the blinders. They don't see what's around them in the peripheral. So that's the whole world. That's what's going to be happening. And when this happens, everything is just going to change. And my grandfather, he's a minister. He used to tell me, it's going to come. It's going to happen. He believed that all this, what the Bible says, is going to happen. It's going to be true. And I'm just thinking, one of the days when it does happen,
and it's not even just the Bible. There's a lot of different prophecies out there that are all just kind of telling the same thing. And
oh yeah, like the Hopi prophecy. The Hopi prophecy is the same thing too. When the people don't, keep the world in order, they're going to come back and take it back and make it back the way it was to make it right in order. So then everybody will learn and understand what you're doing is not right to the world as well as to ourselves. and to humanity, and as well as the the animals, everything. It's like water's life, so are everything else. We all have that cycle.
And I feel bad because I'm not a vegan. Like I do eat meat, but the way we treat our animals.
I know, isn't it sad?
I mean, like it's horrible. Like, and that's why the meat is such a bad vibration. I mean, like it's one thing like with the natives. Like when you guys hunted, you guys not only used everything, but you honored that animal, and like you guys actually saw that animals are equals.
You need to give thanks to what you got, to the Creator for what you have received.
And we're just like taking for granted everything, and that's just the human species in general. Like we've been doing this, and this is why no one's going to switch off of petroleum. Like it's in everything, and we're not going to switch.
Exactly.
We're not ready to.
That's right. And it's so sad though, because people are so naive, and some people are very arrogant that don't want to know and don't want it to change. They just feel so happy the way they are.
Yeah.
In their bubble.
Probably scared of change.
Exactly. Change is different, but it's for the better of the good. But when that day comes, many people are going to be lost. So that's one thing I feel sad for, because we are getting overpopulated, and it is.
And we're killing off different species. Like another thing, like I eventually want to get around to, because like I've always just been really big into animals and everything. Even though I'm a carnivore, I really have a high respect for animals.
Yeah.
And I've noticed like we're having like a big crisis. A lot of animals are going extinct, and honeybees is like a really big important part of like the ecosystem. And once they're gone,
everything starts to.
What's gonna happen?
Domino effect. But like I was saying, when it comes down to it, the world is coming towards where Trump wants to take over the whole world, and that's what's going to happen. And he's going to take it off this next 8 years. I mean, because he's already got 4 years now, and he probably did something to proposition the people that were from on the Democrat to change up to Republican. And I've heard something else, that they want to find out that those machines that they used were like illegal to be used for him to become president. So that's another thing that might happen, because he hasn't been inaugurated yet, so he's not president. But his plan is, if he does, he's going to pay those people like Wisconsin, Michigan, what was it, what else is there? Wisconsin, Michigan, and Minnesota. All those whether those states that are up there. He's probably giving them all the best jobs and everything to make them feel that if they give them jobs and everything, they'll do it again and vote for them. And so, when it comes to that, he's going to take over more of the count, the what do you call it, the numbers, and he'll have able to get the 270 really easily before anybody else would. The next candidate who comes along, hopefully it'll be Bernie Sanders. But if it was Michelle Obama, that would be something else. If she ran for president the next 4 years, that would be amazing. Because I know I would vote for her. She has a strong ethics and she has a strong mind, and. But if it does happen and there's no one else to take over, and he might even change that too. He might even change like the presidency of who's going to be elected president. He might even say, what's not happening? I'll just be president all the time, and he'll able to have his own army, his one-sided militia army. With
money comes power, and that's what he understands. He knows he has a lot of money.
Yep.
And because he has money, whether he's president or not, he has power.
That's right.
So
it's scary.
Yeah,
to think about that.
It is like it's.
And that's one thing that everybody talks about. Money is the greed of the poison that kills the soul. When you have money and the greed in your mind, it kills the soul.
And what's sad is like we're so obsessed with money, but we don't even have anything to back it.
Exactly.
Which is the shit part. It's like, okay, you're so obsessed with it, but there's nothing really to back it. So if things change on a whim, but what are you gonna do?
Exactly.
You can't eat your fucking money.
No, you can't. All you can do is wipe your ass with it. Pretty much true. You can wipe your ass with that money because it's cloth.
Yeah.
So, that's all you can do.
Butt wipes for the U.S.
That's right. And then everybody's so die hard for that. I mean, I don't even think we have any gold left, do we?
No. And this is why like this whole pipeline thing is coming about, like the worth of the petrodollar.
So that's the new money gold, huh? The black gold that's in his teeth. No,
black gold.
It's scary. So that's one of those factors that also play in what we're standing here for, because it's going to make a difference when we stop this pipeline and when we kill it. and then kill the snake, because we severed it, it's still going to go through. They're still trying to make it go through.
Yeah.
And when that happens, and if it does,